All right, we're recording. Shalom. It's me, Brother Doug, again from the Awakened by Yahuwah Fellowship Group. Actually alone tonight. I wanted to see how it would sound for me to do a study from my phone here for you guys. I'm on Zoom right now from my phone, so I want to do a study tonight called Left Behind. So who are the ones left behind? And so I want to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right. So let's go here and go to, let's see, I guess it's not going to make much of a difference if I flip my phone up. All right, so I'm going to show you guys the study I'm referring to. Ah, you stupid thing. Okay. All right, Siri. I hope you guys can see this on my Google Docs. Okay. This study, who will be left behind. So we're going to start off with Proverbs chapter 2 verse 21. Okay, so all right, we're going to go to that and see. I think I'll use, come on guys, you're killing me, come on. All right, so I think I'll use Blue Letter Bible here. Not Blue Letter Bible, Bible Discovery. Okay, so again, let me just check to make sure this is actually doing it correctly. All right, so let me just make sure it's doing it correctly. All right, hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just testing this out here. Okay, so I can go straight to Google Drive. Okay, that's... No, I did not want to do that, actually. My bad about that. Share my screen. All right. Like I said, so I'm going to go here to the Bible Discovery. We're going to start off with Proverbs 2:21. Okay, and Proverbs 2:21 here says, "For the upright shall dwell in the earth, and the set apart shall be left behind in it." So as you can see here, the set apart shall be left behind. Okay, let's go back to my Drive document here. So again, and we'll see if this works correctly. I might be using the phone from now on. I really might be. So again, we got Matthew 24, 39 to 41. And then we'll be looking at the context of one is taken and one is left behind, okay? So, but first, as you can see here already, it says the righteous will be left behind. The upright will dwell in the earth, okay? So you got Matthew 24, 39 to 41, okay, which says, "And they knew nothing until the flood came and took them always. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. 2 women will be grinding in the mill, one will be taken and one will be left." Okay. "Therefore be on guard, for you do not know at what hour your master comes." To me, that seems to indicate, if I use common sense with verse 42 there, that we need to be on guard so he doesn't come as a thief in the night for us. And it seems like the only people that he would come as a thief of the night to would be people that are not, waiting for him, people that are not expecting him, Anyway, so again, now we're going to go to Luke chapter 17, verses 34 to 37. Okay. We're going to go back into the Bible discovery here. So Luke chapter 17, 34 to 37. Okay, here we go. I tell you, in that night there shall be two men in one bed. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two women shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken, and the other left. Two men shall be in the field, the one taken and the other left. And they answered and said to him, Where, Rabbi? And he said unto them, Wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Interesting. And in my opinion, that's an allusion to the anti-Messiah, in my opinion. Wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered. So let's see here. Matthew 13 gives us the context of what Matthew 24, 39 to 41 is saying. So we're going to go to Matthew 13, 24 to 32. Okay. So Matthew 13, 24 to 32. Which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest. Oh, my bad. I was supposed to start at verse 24, my bad. Here we go here. Verse 24 of Matthew 13. Another parable he put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sows tube seed or good seed in his field, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said to him, Sir, did you not sow tube seed in your field? Where then has it tares? And he said unto him, An enemy has done this. The servants said to him, Will you then that we go and gather them up? And he said, Nay, lest you, while gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, which obviously, in my opinion, is referring to Yahushua's angels, gather ye together first the tares. So that's the ones being taken that he was just talking about in Luke 17. One is taken, okay? Gather ye first the tares and bind them in bundles and burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Another parable he put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds, but it is grown, it is the greatest among the herbs, and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. Okay, so the main important ones I would say is Matthew 13, 24 to 30. Gives you the context here. Okay, so now we're going to look at verses 36 to 40 of that same chapter. So, all right, so now we're going to go to verses 36 to 40. And I'm using my Bible Discovery app just because it's easy to navigate. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, He that sows the tube seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the tube seed are the children of the kingdom. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. So, okay, you got the one that sowed the tares, he tells them is the devil. And then you got the tares, he tells them they are literally the sons of the devil, okay? And he tells you the wheat is the children of the kingdom, okay? And the one who sowed the tube seed is the Son of Man. Okay, next verse says, the harvest is the end of the world. So now he also tells you the harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do lawlessness, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. So the wailing and gnashing of teeth obviously is referring to the tares, and it says he's basically telling them in verse 41 there, when I return, I'm first taking away the tares, those that cause stumbling and those that do lawlessness. Okay? So again, the timeline is you have the tares first that are taken, and then you have the wheat that are supposed to be gathered into his barn. And you even have in the book of Isaiah where it says, go into your rooms, okay? Go into your rooms. Okay, let's look at that real quick. Should have put that on this document. I think I'm going to add that actually. I should have added that. Okay. Okay, so I don't know why it won't allow me to edit this. But whatever. I'll edit it later, but just to read it off to you guys, it's Isaiah 26:20. You can cross with Matthew 13:36 to 40. So I'll be reading Isaiah 26:20. Okay, so Isaiah 26:20.
Hello, Brother Doug. Thank you so much. I was
Hey.
just kind of looking at the messenger, which I rarely look at. I think you need to get my phone number so you could text me. I rarely go on Messenger and Telegram and all that business. And I just happened to, and I seen that you were going to be going on, and I just text Sadie and Marissa.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just doing a pre-recording. I didn't realize that you can't do live from the phone for whatever weird reason. So I was just testing it out because I noticed that there's a lot less background noise on my Android when I'm on Zoom. So I wanted to see how the recording would go. So right now, right now I'm reading from Isaiah 26:20 and connecting that to Matthew 13:36 to 40 when it's talking about the wheat and the tares.
Okay.
So let me see here real quick.
I'm going to be very quiet, put myself back on mute because while you're doing the study and I'm trying to listen, I'm trying to get myself together because I'm going to go have a dinner later. About 7:38, of course, West Coast time. And so I'm going to be listening, okay? And hopefully Sadie and Marissa will get on.
All right. Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you so much, son.
You're welcome, sis. All right. So Isaiah 26:20 from the Septuagint says, go, my people, enter into your closets, shut your door, hide yourself for a little season until the anger of Yahuwah has passed away. Obviously, if we're looking at this in the end times context, here, that would be referring to the day of his wrath, which happens after the tribulation, not before, after. So if we're going to use this and say that it's talking about us and the rapture, okay, we have to really keep it in context here. So Matthew 13:36 to 40, the explanation of the parable of the wheat and the tares is explained. And I believe he's even connecting it to Isaiah 26:20. Okay, so he's talking about gathering the wheat, the children of the kingdom, into his barn, into their rooms. Okay, Matthew 24:29. To me, this destroys the pre-trib rapture. Okay, Matthew 24:29. The catching away happens immediately after the tribulation. So we're going to look at that real quick. And let me know, people. Well, obviously, you're not going to really be able to tell me since I can't do live on here for some stupid reason. But people on YouTube, when you see this, please put in the comments section if you're not seeing my shared screen. So just let me know. All right, so I'm going to go on my Bible Discovery app here on my Android. I'm going to be going to Matthew. Let's go to the Restored Name King James here. 24, 29, and see here. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Now, again, like, what are stars? Okay, like, if stars are what the public school system has told us they are, then we got a big problem. Okay, you're talking about huge gas planets hitting the earth, right? So we really got to start taking scripture literally. Okay, stars are going to fall from heaven to the earth. So what are stars? If you look at Revelations 1:20, and I'll just pull that up on my Bible Discovery here, just to give you guys context what he's talking about in this prophecy. The mystery of the 7 stars, which you saw in my right hand. And so the angel's given him this interpretation, what exactly stars are, which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 assemblies. Okay, these stars are angels. And the 7 candlesticks which you saw are the 7 assemblies. This is why in Revelations 12:4, when it talks about Satan taking 1/3 of the stars, I mean, most Christians would interpret that as, 1/3 of the angels of heaven. So, I mean, there's other places that you would realize that it's talking about stars, but some people think that it's just allegorical, but I think stars are literally angels. They're one and the same. They're the same thing, which kind of reconciles to me the creation story, where you don't see verbatim angels being mentioned being created during the 6 days of the creation, unless you look at the stars and understand that stars are angels, and you see it's on day 4. So to me, that reconciles that. But anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent, but 1 Thessalonians 4:17 says, we who are alive and remain. So now we're going to go to 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Okay, so 1 Thessalonians 4:17 says, and this is Paul speaking here. Let's get some context here. I'm going to go all the way up to like verse, I would say 14 maybe. Okay. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even then so them also which sleep in Yahushua will Elohim bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of Yahuwah, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Master shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Yahushua himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of Yahuwah, and the dead in Messiah shall rise first. Then which we are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Master in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Master. Now notice how it says, we which are alive and remain. Would it make sense for him to be saying we which are alive and remain in a pre-trib context? Would that even make any sense? What are they remaining from? If they're getting caught up before the Great Tribulation even happens, why would Paul even say that? So again, you got to take things into context. He's talking about remaining from something. And so obviously to me, if I put 2 and 2 together, he's talking about remaining from the tribulation. Because some people are going to die during the tribulation. Some believers will be killed and martyred. So that's what he's talking about. So let's go here to Revelations 13:7. This causes another problem if you believe in the pre-trib. So the beast makes war against the set-apart ones, not only natural-born Israelites, like not only, natural born Judeans and Naphtali and Manasseh and all that, but actual Gentile grafted in believers he makes war with. So the doctrine of the Christian church getting raptured up and the Jews are the only ones in the tribulation is completely false. And it's completely exposed just by looking at Revelations 13:7. Yeah, so this is, and the context is, this is when the anti-Messiah is on the earth. The beast, the anti-Messiah, is making war with them. So, okay, all right, hold on. Stupid thing. Hold on. Revelations. I don't know why it doesn't. No, it's glitching up. This is great. I don't know why it wants to glitch. I'm trying to get to Revelations here. There we go. That was weird. Revelations 13:7. And it was given unto him to make war with the set apart ones and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. And anyone that's might be saying, well, how do I know that this is all believers, not just natural born Israelites that it's referring to as this quote unquote the set apart ones? If you look at Revelations 14:12 here, okay, it says, here is the patience of the set apart ones. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahuwah and belief of Yahusha. That means everyone that believes in Yahusha and keeps Yahuwah's commandments is considered the set apart ones. It's not exclusive to ethnicity or race. And I know a lot of Christian doctrine wants to say the saints are the Jews or the saints are the Israelites. That's not, you will not find that belief in Scripture. That is just the Jews or just the natural born Israel. Okay, so again, now we're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 to 54, at the last trumpet. And we also have Revelations chapter 11, verses 15 and 19. So first I'll go to 1 Corinthians. So this, and Paul's talking about the same event, mind you, in this chapter as he was in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. So it's the same context. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the same that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. So Paul here is talking about the first resurrection. He's talking about when we're being caught up. Like he was referring in 1 Thessalonians 4. We have to take on incorruption. We have to take on resurrected bodies. Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom. And that's literal. Like physical human flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom. We need resurrected bodies to enter the kingdom. It's a physical transformation. And I think the reason for that is I think that's what Adam and Kuo were originally. I know the only proof I have is extra biblical sources, but if you look at certain extra biblical books, and I want to make it clear, I'm not promoting this book as being inspired, but as far as to go along the idea that Adam and Eve originally had bodies of light, you can look at the books of Adam and Eve. And I'm saying this just as a historical record or as a cultural record, that this idea that humanity itself now is in a fallen physical genetic state in our bodies is something they understood back then. They understood that in their culture, they understood that this was true. Like their original bodies were bodies of light. And so take it for whatever you will. All I know is that Paul himself says we're going to have resurrected bodies. Peter says it. I mean, there's multiple witnesses in what everyone would consider it inspired. So I'm just saying there's a second witness to this in a extra biblical BC time period book known as the books of Adam and Eve. So I'm just saying. All right, so let me move on. Revelations chapter 11, verses 15 and 19. Okay, Revelations chapter 11, verses 15 and 19 says, "And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Elohim and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which sat before Yahuwah on their seats fell upon their faces and worshipped Yahuwah, saying, We give you thanks, O Yahuwah, Almighty, which are and which was and are to come, because you have taken to you your great power and have reigned." So again, that is Revelations 11, 15 to 17. So that's just showing there that basically the last trumpet is the seventh trumpet. So that's why I have that there to cross with 1 Corinthians 15, 51 to 54. When it says at the last trumpet, it's talking about the seventh trumpet of the seven trumpets. So again, that's when it would happen. That's when the resurrection would happen. So let's see here. We got Matthew 24, 42 to 43. We're going to look now lastly at the context, because a lot of people that believe in the pre-trib will say, well, what about he's going to come as a thief in the night? And we're going to show you here, he's not coming as a thief of the night to everyone. Okay, he's coming as a thief of the night to those that are not waiting for him. Okay, it says, Matthew 24, 42. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your master does come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in that watch, had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man comes. So again, he's not saying he's coming as a thief to everyone. He's saying he comes as a thief to those that are not watching for him. That's what he's actually saying. And a lot of people have taken that out of context, not looking at the context. I'm going to go to another cross-reference here, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 2 and 4. And if you haven't seen the other day, we did, our group did a study about defending the Apostle Paul yesterday, so check that study out. I really recommend it. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 2 and verse 4. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahuwah. So Paul is talking about the day of Yahuwah that comes as a thief. Okay? Not the pre-trib. Okay? The day of Yahuwah. So comes as a thief in the night. But you, brothers, are not in darkness. Verse 4 here. That day should overtake you as a thief. So what is the day that he is coming? The day that he's coming is the day of his wrath. Basically, this is how I would explain it. I believe in a post-trib rapture. The idea that right before he executes his wrath, he is taking up the dead of Messiah, and he's taking up also those that are left over from the Great Tribulation. So basically, there is not a huge gap between the Great Tribulation and the day of his wrath. To put it in context, it's like right after one another. So you have the Great Tribulation, and then his return is also the same event as the day of his wrath. So his return is on the day of Yahuwah. He catches us up, if you want to call it post-tribulation, raptures us up, and then he comes down at the same return. It's one return at the same almost simultaneously, once he arpazos us up, he's coming back down to execute vengeance on the wicked, to execute his wrath. So that's the context there. 2 Peter 3:10. So 2 Peter 3:10. And that's the only way, to me, I can reconcile the timeline of that, of the immediately after the tribulation and the day of Yahuwah being the same day that Messiah returns, if you catch what I'm saying. So, okay, 2 Peter 3:10, but the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night. That's what's coming as a thief on the night, the day of Yahuwah, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all set apart? And I hate how it says conversation here. It's more than conversation. I hate that. All right, here we go. I like the ISR, what they do here in verse 10. Okay, so it says, the elements shall melt with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in them shall be burned up. Seeing all these are to be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be in set apart behavior and reverence? Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, I actually like that from the ISR. It makes a lot more sense, was in context was talking about. So now the last one we have here for the thief of the night is Revelation 16:15. So I think you guys are getting a concept of what the context of the thief of the night is. Again, you cannot, if you look at the context here, you can't get the thief of the night as before the tribulation. It's impossible. Revelation 16:15. See, I am coming as a thief. Baruch is he who is staying awake and guarding his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Now, again, garments here is an allegory for keeping Yahuwah's commandments, trusting in Yahusha for salvation. Okay, that's what he's talking about by guarding his garments, and lest they see his shame, because as you in the garden, Adam and Eve's shame was their sin. So they're not literally talking about like physical clothing and physical nakedness per se in this verse. It's more or less a allegory, you could say. So, and so that's the last one I have here. So that was Revelation 16:15. And let's see here. I think that's it. So I pray that this message would really help everyone out that has seen it. And I think this is the most concise way that I could possibly, be able to put this message forth in a very simple and straight to the point way. So thank you for joining us. If you have any other questions, I will be available. You can find me on Facebook, in our group on Facebook, the Wakened by Yahuwah Assembly in Yahuwah Almighty Yahushua Messiah. We have a Facebook group page that you can message me through. You can find me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is my name you see here, Douglas Bonensegna. I think it might be Douglas Anthony Bonensegna. You can find us on YouTube under my name. And if you want, you can email me. But thank you for tuning in. And I think this will be a help for a lot of our brothers and sisters that have not unlearned this false doctrine of the pre-trib. And the last thing I would like to say is one clear sign you might want to unlearn your end times interpretation is when it's promoted by Hollywood. And I'm not trying to say that as a pot shot to anyone, but if your end times interpretation is promoted by Hollywood, then you really might want to rethink it. You might want to go back to the scripture rather than just trusting your pastor. So thank you for joining us and have a great rest of your night. This is Brother Doug signing off. Bye.
Brother, did you record it?
Yeah.
Okay.